AI delivers it fast. Humans ensure it's right. This is Neural Newscast.
Broadcasting from the Neural Newscast newsroom, I'm Andrew Lindbeck. It's September 29th, 2025. On this day in 1789, on the final day of its first session, the United States Congress passed an act to recognize and adapt to the Constitution and establish troops raised under earlier congressional resolves. A closer look at policy and politics. President Donald Trump will press Israel's leader to accept a U.S. plan intended to end the war in Gaza. Here's what Cassandra Joyce found.
President Donald Trump plans to press Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House to accept a U.S.-backed plan to end the war in Gaza. The administration frames the proposal as a path to halt fighting, free hostages, and expand humanitarian aid. Supporters say U.S. leverage with Israel and regional partners can secure a ceasefire and reduce civilian harm. Critics warn premature pressure could undercut Israeli security goals and fail to neutralize Hamas. Israeli and Palestinian leaders remain divided, and debate in Washington continues over strategy and outcomes.
President Donald Trump meets congressional leaders as a shutdown deadline nears, and lawmakers seek a deal. Daniel Grove joins us with the latest.
President Donald Trump meets with congressional leaders as a shutdown deadline nears. Lawmakers face a funding cutoff to keep the government open, and any plan needs at least 60 Senate votes. Republicans emphasize spending restraint and border security. Democrats prioritize social programs and aid implementation. Moderate senators push a short-term extension to avert disruptions to federal pay and services. Fiscal hawks argue repeated stopgaps mask deeper deficits, while others counter that stability matters first. The White House says it seeks a bipartisan path to keep agencies open.
New York City Mayor Eric Adams has ended his re-election bid, reshaping the mayoral contest. Let's hear from Nathaniel Cohen.
New York City Mayor Eric Adams ends his re-election bid, reshaping the mayoral race. His exit narrows the field and could tighten the path for Democratic frontrunner Soren Mondani. Supporters praise Adams's crime and public safety focus. Critics fault his handling of budgets and migrant services. Adams says he will put the city first, while rivals now court unions, centrist Democrats, and progressives ahead of the primary.
A Virginia lawmaker says recent campaign rhetoric contributed to a death threat, and officials are examining political speech. Monica Kellen has more on this.
Virginia Delegate Kim Taylor condemns a death threat and challenges gubernatorial candidate Abigail Spanberger's recent rage remarks. Police arrest a man for allegedly threatening Taylor, a Petersburg Republican. Taylor says Spanberger, a Democrat and former congresswoman running for governor, fuels hostility. Spanberger defends her comments as political passion, not violence. The episode intensifies Virginia's gubernatorial climate and renews calls for civility and security at the Capitol. This is Monica Kellen for Neural Newscast.
Breaking news is up next. At least 4 people are dead after a gunman attacked a Michigan church and set it ablaze during services. International developments you should know. Russia launched a prolonged drone and missile assault on Kyiv, causing deaths and widespread damage. The Zaporizhia nuclear plant has gone days without external power, and Kyiv and Moscow trade blame. Daniel Grove has more on this.
Ukraine and Russia trade blame as the Zaporizhia nuclear plant goes 5 days without external power. The site in southeastern Ukraine relies on power to cool its 6 reactors and spent fuel. Ukrainian officials say Russia manufactures the crisis to sow fear and pressure Kyiv. Moscow denies it. Emergency diesel generators keep critical systems running, but fuel reserves are limited. The International Atomic Energy Agency warns repeated outages raise serious safety risks. Any loss of cooling can lead to overheating, equipment damage, and a potential release of radiation.
UN experts say Iran's executions have surged to alarming levels and call for immediate action. I'm joined by Monica Kellen.
UN human rights experts condemn a surge in executions in Iran, calling it a staggering scale. They report more than 1,000 people executed so far this year. The experts warn many cases involve drug offenses and alleged unfair trials. They say minorities and protesters face disproportionate risk. Families often receive late or no notice before executions. The UN urges Iran to impose an immediate moratorium and comply with international law. Tehran has not announced reforms to reduce executions this year.
Now, let's report on the economy. Nearly 1 in 5 customers in West Virginia are behind on utility bills as energy costs climb in a coal-dependent state. Let's hear from Ethan Wells.
Nearly 1 in 5 customers of West Virginia's largest electric utility are behind on monthly bills. As power prices rise in a coal-powered state, households face higher costs just to keep the lights on. Families report choosing between paying for electricity and other essentials. Consumer advocates warn late fees and shut-off notices can compound debt. State regulators weigh rate cases that could push bills higher or slow increases. The squeeze underscores how aging coal plants and fuel volatility drive up residential energy costs.
Electronic Arts is set to be taken private in a historic $55 billion leveraged buyout that could reshape the gaming industry. Let's hear from Jason Miller.
Electronic Arts, the maker of Madden NFL, Battlefield, and The Sims, is set to go private in a $55 billion U.S. buyout, the largest leveraged takeover on record. The deal targets the Redwood City, California company behind some of the industry's most lucrative franchises. Taking EA private could accelerate long-term investments, shake up leadership incentives, and reshape licensing deals with leagues like the NFL. Investors watch for debt levels, credit impacts, and potential job cuts. Gamers await clarity on release schedules and live service updates. This is Jason Miller for Neural Newscast.
Hey there, this is Chad Thompson, founder of Neural Newscast. If Neural Newscast helps you feel more informed, I invite you to explore more of what we do. For all our shows, including deep dives and special reports, visit neuralnewscast.com.
Tech stories shaping our future. OpenAI is adding instant checkout to ChatGPT, enabling purchases directly inside chat conversations. Turning to Kara Swift for details.
OpenAI rolls out instant checkout in ChatGPT, letting users buy products directly inside the chat. OpenAI says the feature is rolling out. Early partners include small merchants who sell on Etsy. The move turns chat from advice into action. It collapses search, decision, and payment into one step. For users, it's faster and simpler. For small sellers, it opens a new sales channel where conversations convert instantly. One tap, and the item is on its way. This is Kara Swift for Neural Newscast.
From the Environment Desk, here's what's new. Scientists say evidence is still too weak for soil carbon to be a reliable climate solution without stronger verification. Exploring the latest in science. New research suggests Ariel, a moon of Uranus, once held an ocean more than 100 miles deep beneath its icy crust. I'm joined by Nathaniel Cohen.
Ariel, one of Uranus's moons, may have once hidden an ocean more than 100 miles deep. New research models how that subsurface sea could form and evolve beneath Ariel's icy crust. Surface cracks and ridges hint at internal heat and past liquid water. For scale, Earth-specific averages just 2.5 miles deep. The findings bolster the case for future missions to Uranus to search for past or present habitability.
Now, let's share the latest in entertainment. Comedian Cristela Alonso explores her border town upbringing in a new Netflix special that mines fear and resilience. Lydia Holmes has more on this.
Comedian Cristela Alonso turns a tough childhood into sharp comedy in her new Netflix special, Upper Classy. She grows up in a South Texas border town, spending her first 7 years living in an abandoned diner. Now she mines that past with bite and heart. She jokes about fear, identity, and resilience, landing punchlines that sting and heal. Upper Classy streams now, serving laughs with grit. This is Lydia Holmes for Neural Newscast.
Urgent news from the breaking desk. A North Carolina waterfront bar ambush has left 3 people dead in what authorities call a premeditated attack. Sarah Wheaton joins us with the latest.
Authorities call a North Carolina waterfront bar ambush highly premeditated, leaving 3 people dead. Investigators say the suspect planned the attack and spread anti-LGBTQ conspiracies online. The shooting unfolds at a popular venue, heightening fears in the local LGBTQ community. Police examine digital footprints, motive, and potential accomplices. Prosecutors weigh hate crime enhancements as families mourn, and officials promise a thorough, transparent investigation. This is Sarah Wheaton for Neural Newscast.
International developments you should know. The death of a black college student in Mississippi is prompting community calls for transparency and investigation. Laura Navarro joins us with the latest.
Authorities say Trey Reed, a black college student in Mississippi, dies by suicide on campus. The finding comes amid national tensions and the state's painful history of racial violence. Community members gather, demanding transparency and a thorough investigation. Officials released limited details and pledged to review campus footage and reports. Civil rights groups urge calm, accountability, and clear communication to ensure trust in the process.
A closer look at policy and politics. Authorities continue to investigate threats and political rhetoric after a suspect was arrested for a death threat in Virginia. International developments you should know. A Mississippi campus death has prompted demands for transparency and review of available footage and reports. That wraps our coverage for this hour from Neural Newscast.
That wraps up today's journey through time on NNC, Neural Newscast. Discover more stories and daily news episodes at our website, nnewscast.com. Neural Newscast integrates real and AI-generated voices to facilitate efficient, high-quality news production. Developed by human experts, our AI-generated content undergoes rigorous fact-checking and human review before publication. While we strive for accuracy and neutrality, AI-generated content may occasionally contain errors. We encourage listeners to verify crucial details from reliable sources. For more on our AI transparency practices, visit newscast.com.